You could have $1 billion. If you are an independent artist, you will not have a #1 record on Spotify unless you pay the gate. Unless the record companies are getting a cut.
Hey, Segovia, back with another video. Hope everyone out there is having a good day. Y'all, we're back with another one on this beautiful Monday, early in the morning over here, sipping on some coffee in a fasted state. I'm ready to get into the reaction with you guys. We ain't gonna do too much talking, y'all. Let's get into it. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Anyone fly a 60-ton, 125-foot wide, 44-foot tall plane through this obstacle course?
The aircraft, before striking the Pentagon, reportedly executed a 270-degree downward spiral. And yet Hani Hanyour was known as a terrible pilot who could not safely fly even a small plane.
No seats, no luggage, no bodies. Nothing but bricks and limestone.
The official explanation is that the intense heat from the jet fuel vaporized the entire plane. Flight 77 had 2 Rolls-Royce engines made of steel and titanium alloy and weigh 6 tons each. It is scientifically impossible that 12 tons of steel and titanium was vaporized by jet fuel.
We're also told that the bodies were able to be identified either by their fingerprints or by the DNA. So what kind of fire can vaporize aluminum and tempered steel and yet leave human bodies intact?
From my close-up inspection, there's no evidence of a plane having crashed anywhere near the Pentagon. And as I said, the only pieces left that you can see are small enough that you could pick up in your hand.
Shortly after the strike, government agents picked up debris and carried it off. The entire lawn was covered with dirt and gravel, so that any remaining forensic evidence was literally covered up. The videos from security cameras, which would show what really hit the Pentagon, were immediately confiscated by agents of the FBI, and the Department of Justice has to this day refused to release them. If these videos would prove that the Pentagon was really hit by a 757, most of us would assume the government would release them.
There's no new shit to do in the world. It's only like 5 or 6, 7 different foods. And they making all these other foods. There's nothing to do in the motherfucking world but distractions. Think about it. Every young nigga do the same shit. Every old nigga do the same shit. There's nothing to do in the motherfucking world, gang. They ain't give us too many assignments and shit to do in this world. Listen, there's nothing to do here. It's boring as fuck in this prison. Listen, it's boring, gang. What the fuck can you do here? Everybody do the same shit. Everybody run around doing the same shit because there's nothing to do in this prison. Listen, you ever been to jail before? Yeah, sure. In jail, everybody do the same shit, right? But what's the difference between jail and here? Everybody do the same shit here. Everybody do the same shit in jail. It's the same. Gang, we already in jail. You locked. Listen, the warden in jail, and then you got the president setting the rules, telling you what to do. Right? Even in certain neighborhoods, they got time when you can go to sleep, when you can get up. Neighborhoods I live in, you can't can't mow your lawn before 7 o'clock in the morning. So they putting rules and stipulations on you everywhere you go, just like in jail. So how the fuck I'm not in jail? If you drive, you gotta go get a driver's license to drive. Just like when you in jail, you gotta get a hall pass to walk the halls. So play with me, man. They police this bitch, they police jail, gang. I'm in motherfucking jail locked in this motherfucking body. What? The fuck you talking about, gang?
Well, answer this question. Since 1972, we've never sent human beings past where the ISS, the International Space Station, is today, and it's 1,000 times farther to the moon than it is to the ISS. And it's like you have to go through the Van Allen radiation belt to get to the moon, and he doesn't think that it's possible to send humans through the Van Allen radiation belt. And, you know, we've been trying with the Artemis missions over the last couple of years, and they keep getting delayed and they keep getting pushed back. And it's not the first time that we've tried and failed to get people to the moon since 1972. So
one thing's for sure, those guys acted super weird after they got back.
They did. They did.
That's actually, like, at an intuitive gut level, watching those interviews is one of the more compelling pieces of evidence for me. It's like, these guys don't look like national heroes who just got back from the moon.
Buzz Aldrin, I think within the last 10 years, he was asked a question by an 8-year-old girl and said, like, why haven't we sent anybody back to the moon? And he's like, well, because we didn't go there. He literally said that. And there's some good arguments and some good truths to I think the debunking side of this, and it's certainly very possible that we win. I don't know. I think it's probably, I'm probably like 20% chance that we didn't go, 80% chance that we did go after researching all of the stuff.
Something weird is going on around the world this week with the weather. In Guizhou, China, floodwaters surged over 837 feet, swallowing up neighborhoods and roads. Experts are saying that this is a once-in-a-50-year flood, and locals are saying they've never seen anything like this in their life. In Alabama today, an absolutely massive weather phenomenon appeared and then disappeared over Birmingham. Experts are saying that this could be a meteor or it was a radar glitch. And while media is reporting that now June is the new July with intense summer heats coming earlier than ever before, it is hailing in Tampa, Florida today. There is a 4.2 magnitude earthquake in Albania today. Buses in New York are falling into sinkholes because of the heat, and bridges in China are collapsing because of the rain. While everyone's focused on what's going on in the Middle East this week, I want to ask you, what do you think is going on with the weather? As always, let me know down below.
How come countries or continents that can't agree on anything,
but we all agree on that?
We all agree to keep everybody away from Antarctica.
Talk about it. Talk about it.
How is
Talk
this
about
possible?
It. That's a great point.
I want to know. Tell my viewer conspiracy theories. You guys tell my viewers this, because I can't even figure this out.
So we have wars going on. We have trade wars going on. We can't agree on
nothing.
But we can all agree on nobody goes down there.
No one.
Antarctica Treaty.
No one.
So for them to agree on that means there's some real crazy shit going on down there.
Right.
This is so wild to think about. Let's say your maternal line is fairly consistent and everyone has their daughter at 25 years old, right? So 4 women are born every 100 years. In 1,000 years, that is only 40 women. Basically, since 0 AD, that's only 80 women.
Man.
So when they think that agriculture was first invented, like farming and stuff, would be around 9,500 BC, that's only 450 mothers to today.
You think it's going to be so much more?
Yeah.
Wow.
Not much out there, right, to eat. So we got Subway. I haven't had Subway in, I don't even know the last time I got Subway. So I went in there, got 2 6-inch subs, no chips, no drinks, just no cookies, just 2 6-inch subs. You guys know how much that was? $17. I was shocked. I was like, what happened to these $5 footlong days? Like, these are just 2 6-inches for $17. And then they had the nerve to ask for a tip when the customer service wasn't even good. Guy didn't even make eye contact with me, say, how's your day? Nothing. Just made my sandwich like I was just another customer. $17, y'all, for 2 6-inch turkey sandwiches. Crazy.
I don't know how familiar you are with dinosaurs, but she was the first ceratopsian dinosaur discovered on the fossil record. So, existed about 40 years before the Triceratops. Her ancestors, I should say. She's only about, 4 years old?
What is she?
I'm not exactly sure. Sorry?
What is she again? What species?
She's an ankylops.
Love it.
Lobsters? Yeah. Lobsters is immortal.
Like a cockroach.
They don't die?
Lobsters don't die. They got
unless you eat them.
You gotta kill them. And then they die because of they just get tired of living.
They can just die whenever they want to. Like I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Lobsters don't die.
Then that prices rise over time. That's what they do, right? Prices go up. I mean, your grandma will have some story about how a bottle of Coke used to cost $0.05, and you're like, yeah, that same bottle of Coke costs $2.50 now. But that's what prices do. They go up. They go from being $0.05 to being $2.50. But that's not organic. That is not, there's no law of nature that says that prices just go up, that things just get more expensive. That's not written into stone anywhere. And in fact, the natural order of a productive economy is for prices to fall. Now, people don't know this, but in 1913, if you were talking to your grandma, she would have been telling you how expensive something was to buy back in her day and how much cheaper it is to buy today, because we didn't live in an inflationary economy. We lived in a productive economy. And when you live in a productive economy, prices tend to fall. It's the natural path because you get better at producing things and therefore you can produce them more efficiently and therefore you don't have to charge as much for them. Obviously, if you just think about this on a basic level, right? If you have technological improvements, if If the job were, say, like to make a man-made lake, and I had to do it with men with shovels, I'm going to have to charge you a lot more than if I were to do it with an excavator. If I have the machinery and the technology, one man can now do the work of like 100 men. It's just much cheaper to produce things. You can charge less for them. But we don't live in that world because we live in this world of insane government spending, and they can't tax us enough and they can't borrow enough. So they have to print up the money. And when they print up the money, who ends up getting the money first? Because that's what the whole game is about when you print new money, right? Theoretically, if you were to print money and evenly distribute it along the lines of how people already have money. So like if you were to double the money supply, but just give it out, double everybody's individual net worth, then you're not going to have a huge transfer of wealth. It should be more or less around the same, but that's not how it works. Who gets the money first? When you print all this new money, who gets it first? Well, it's government's cronies and Wall Street, but I repeat myself.
Where were you on September 11th?
I was
slept in that day.
home. And the only reason I wasn't where I was, my wife, God bless her, had made an appointment for me at the doctor. And I remember dressing to go to the doctor. I finally saying to my wife, I said, sweetheart, I've got so much to do downtown. I got to cancel this. I've got to go downtown. And she said, you're not going to cancel this appointment.
Nick is a serial, okay? Nick is a serial. He abused me my whole life. The reason why I have a hiatal hernia and a stomach condition today is because he used to make me force me to drink alcohol from the age of like 11 to 15.
Wow.
And would pay me money and make me drink like a big ass cup of like vodka, tequila, wild turkey.
So
and
this
all
is
mixed
once
together.
you're famous, he's forcing you to basically
When
take
I was
part
like 12, 13, like he started.
but you're already in the public eye at this point, and was this just?
Of course, by the time I was 13, I already sold about 30 million records.
But you couldn't characterize it. Could you characterize it as like drinking, like just fun drinking times?
Because
that
that's
was maybe with
abuse
somebody too young.
No, that's abuse to a little brother.
Well, yeah, if they take it to a certain extent,
that's
sure.
against the law. I mean, I got alcohol poisoning about 10 times from him, from this fucking fool.
Wow.
Like, and then guess what happens? I get on Instagram Live, right? So Nick files a restraining order against me,
right,
saying that I want to kill Lauren Kit and the unborn child, right?
When was the last time that you guys were on good terms?
8 years ago.
Okay.
So and then he calls me. Nick calls me about 4 months ago. You know what he says to me?
What?
I'm really proud of you. And I'm like, listen, man, I'm fucking pissed at you. This is what I said. I said, I'm pissed at you. I said, you're not there for our mom. You gave up. I said, if she gets sober in 2 years, are you going to at least try to have a relationship with her? Because he hasn't spoken to her in 8 years.
Really?
Yeah. So I said, are you going to at least try to have a relationship with her? And he goes, I don't think I can do that.
Really?
Yeah. And then he didn't even show up to our sister's funeral. That's Nick. The abusive guy on House of Carters that fucking beat me up. And you know what he said on that clip that I posted?
What?
He says, that's the first time you ever came at me. You came at me, dog, and you know you did. For the first time in your life, you came at me. For the first time in your life, you came at me. You know what that implication is? That he's come at me before, Adam. Why would he say that's the first time you came at me?
Right.
Because he got mad because I whooped his ass in the bathroom.
Because you
19
finally
years
fought
old.
back?
No, I whooped his ass. I put him in a chokehold and almost made him pass out.
Right.
And then he passed out in the bathroom. I walked out of the bathroom. They didn't fucking film that.
Oh.
Yeah. Because I'm a real motherfucker.
Guy's just having a conversation with someone. That'd be creepy to see for your security. I need to put this light somewhere. It's just beaming on me. I need to put it a little to the side. Getting somebody's number.
you can understand why they don't want you to know about this document. I didn't even know about this document because this document speaks against the narrative. Because it's contradicting. It doesn't make sense. The Havara Agreement during wartime? Like, listen to what this says and tell me if you or this will make you a denier. Not saying I'm a denier. I'm just saying that it contradicts the narrative heavily.
We all agree that not learning about the Havara Agreement is weird. Skylar, can you pull this up? The Havara Agreement? I mean, what? You didn't even learn about it because then maybe you would ask another question that they don't want you asking, and this is why the new radical Zionist pitch is, you're not just asking questions. Don't ask any questions. Don't. Just remember what you learned in public school, and that's it. Can you pull this up on Wikipedia? We're going to get this up for you. The Havara Agreement. The Havara Agreement is the transfer agreement. It was an agreement between Nazi Germany and Zionist organizations that was signed on the 25th of August of 1933. When Hitler was in power.
During war.
They signed an agreement with the Nazis. The agreement was finalized after 3 months of talks by the Zionist Federation of Germany, the Anglo-Palestine Bank, under the directive of the Jewish Agency, and the economic authorities of Nazi Germany. It was a major factor in making it possible for people to migrate approximately 60,000 German Jews to Palestine between 1933 and 1939. That's during wartime, right? So, of course, you naturally would go, okay, and this is why I didn't learn this as well. Maybe you did. Did you guys learn it? Did you learn it? I'm check the chat. You would naturally go, okay, so some were being legally transferred to be allowed to resettle in Palestine while the rest of them were being killed. Like, how did they decide who? But no.
You do understand, right, how that completely goes against what we've been taught. Well, because you have to ask questions. You have to be like, wait. How did they choose who they unalived and sent to the camps over the people that got to migrate or settle in Palestine? And why is this the first time I've ever heard about this? And it's 2025. Do I have to really spell out why this information contradicts the events that we've been propagated to believe as a narrative back in 1930 to 40s? Because it also doesn't make sense that you go from Time Magazine's Man of the Year to Mega Maniacal Maniac. I mean, what? I'm not a denier, but I'm saying
the things they use, they showed you in Man in Black. The thing where you look at it, everybody look chin, and they blink, and everybody forget what the fuck happened, and then they tell everybody what happened. They did the same thing to the public. And a lot of people don't remember that, but they do remember this, though. They remember in the 90s how you used to watch TV, and you'll see a blue, red, purple screen just come on the TV. Like, this is a public service announcement. We're checking for something. And it'll just be a fucking weird-ass screen to come on. Y'all remember that? This one, they was erasing. They had to keep doing it to erase. They did it for years until we switched over to digital TV. You used to be watching TV. Y'all remember that? 90s, early 2000s, before we went to digital. You would be watching TV and it come on. Screen come on. It'd be green, red, white, pink, blue, black, blue. You're like, what the fuck? And they're like, dee. And you be like, you just sitting there and shit. You're like, what the fuck is they on? Programming our neurons, erasing them. We didn't even know. You see what I'm saying? That's what they was doing that for. This is a public service. It won't show you shit but some colors and beep. You in the crib, and they did it so much you wouldn't even leave. You was used to it. Like, they like, oh yeah, that come up sometime.
What I always say is, like, they never even flew a chicken through that shit and had it come back alive.
No.
And they're just going to try it out with people?
Laika the dog did not survive when they threw Laika up there.
Well, how about Operation Starfish Prime, where they shot a nuke into there to try to blow a hole through it, and it wound up making it more radioactive?
Of course.
They thought they were gonna blow a hole in the Van Allen radiation belt so they could just pop through that hole.
Right, and now thanks to that, we've got the South Atlantic anomaly where there's just no protection anymore.
What you see behind me is the largest cemetery in the entire world. It's located here in Najaf, Iraq, next to the tomb of Imam Ali, who in Shia Islam is one of the most important figures. But the reason they want to be buried here is that since Imam Ali's tomb is right next to it, people believe that the closer they can be buried next to Imam Ali, the closer they can be into heaven. And officially speaking, there's 4 million people that are documented being buried here. But unofficially, it could be as high as 10 million or more. I really don't know if the camera is giving full justice right now, but this is really a sight to behold. Honestly, it's just overwhelming. I mean, you're looking out there at a possible 10 million bodies. I mean, it's so big that when you're driving around in there, it's almost like it's become a cemetery town. You see people selling chips, water, gasoline, stuff like that. And I'm told too that they're even expanding the graveyard, adding more space for more graves to be added. Looks like a city, really. That's part of what's so crazy about it.
Gosh, just chilling in Iraq.
When you're talking about the dude that's running Tesla, SpaceX, Neuralink, the Boring Company, Solar City, like I don't know if I'm forgetting any. Then I start to have questions about like
things that are like tied into the government too.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and Andy comes from this kind of shady background where I start to wonder, like, is this guy really actually running all those companies, or is he kind of just intentionally the face of all those companies? So we don't know, like,
I go back and
what's
forth
going
with
on.
exact question.
We're never given an option. And you ask, why is that? It's because we aren't in control. We aren't in control of our government leadership. We aren't in control of the media. We aren't in control of our school system. This cabal, as I like to call it, is probably the best name I could think of to describe this relatively small but very wealthy and very powerful group of people, are literally in control of the major governments of the world now. They've been working on this for decades and decades, actually over 100 years. They've been trying to create this international consolidation of power, and they've got the money to do it, especially since they own the banking system, and especially since they created institutions like the Federal Reserve System, where you can create money on your own. You don't have to mine it as gold or silver. You just create it. That's pretty nifty. So they have all the money they need, and so they've been working on this for well over 100 years, and they control the media. Now, we turn on the television set and say, well, what's going on today, you know? And what we're literally depending on is for the people who are running the show to tell us what the debate is about. They control the debate. And you ask, why do we go along with it? It's because that's the only option given to us. And most people aren't savvy enough yet to realize that this is a fixed game. They don't realize they can't win this game, so they keep playing it.
I didn't even know this was going on, y'all. Boxing has fallen off so much. Look at these people all watching
All right,
it.
boys, so this is a man right here that is ashamed for giving up his legacy for a bag. And this man right here is a man that has rigged the system and knows no matter what goes down that he's going to win. I mean, it only takes the first round to truly realize that Chavez is not even trying. He's not throwing anything. Like, there's literally no effort being done here. He's just moving around, just waiting to get hit. To me personally, this makes boxing look bad, and anybody involved should also be ashamed for allowing these bouts to continue happening.
Oh, this. Like, what happened to boxing, y'all? Boxing used to be good, you know? Every Mexican holiday, Cinco de Mayo, in September, Mexican Independence Day, there's always a big fight, y'all. Like, we used to get excited for these fights when Mayweather would fight, when Canelo and Pacquiao, and now it turned into this. Like, celebrity boxing is bigger than actual boxing. Like, that's a damn shame Chavez did that just for some money, y'all. Sold his soul just for some money. Like, that's his legacy. That's it. It's crazy, y'all. What did boxing turn into? It's a damn shame.
Incredible clip. So what you have here is a sloth bear fighting a tiger. Now, sloth bears are insane. They're not the biggest bear species in the world, but they are known to be the most aggressive. They have incredible claws. They are ferocious. They have this crazy look. And
It's all
tigers are the
stretched
most
up.
formidable cat in the world. So these two are having some sort of a fight over something. It could be territorial, but I doubt it. It's more likely over prey. Maybe the tiger tried to attack the bear. Maybe the bear has cubs. Who knows? There's a reason that sloth bears are the most aggressive, and it's because they're dealing with tigers. If you go somewhere like the Arctic, where there are polar bears or there are grizzly bears, black bears, whatever, they're not in competition with another gigantic ferocious species like sloth bears are with a tiger. So they are required to be massively aggressive and massively territorial in order to survive. If you can't survive by being the biggest, you survive by being the baddest. And these guys are the baddest of bears.
Well, there's that debate: who would win between a grizzly bear and a tiger? I mean, that bear was a little smaller, well, a lot smaller than like a big ass grizzly bear, and he had that tiger running for his life, y'all.
Nah, chill.
This is a nightmare I always have at a concert. Just people running towards me. I always have it. It's either here, like a mass shooting, either here or at my high school. I have these dreams all the time. What happened? Well, you better turn around and start going.
Gunshots. You heard that shit? It sounded like gunshots, right? In the crowd?
Hell yeah.
Thank you. It sounded like gunshots over there. Come on, come on.
This way.
Fuck that.
Michael Myers.
2-mile-wide dome in the ocean, and it's leaving a track behind it.
How do we not know what it is? I mean, how is there not one submarine, like one mission? Let's find out what this is.
It could be anything. It could be potentially a weapon.
Dude, a 2-mile-wide weapon? Could you imagine if, like, it reminds me of the sailing stones, rocks in the desert
that just move.
That just move, man, and leave trails behind. I thought,
why
it was
have we not
fake
figured
at
that?
First.
Like, let's put a camera on it.
I don't know.
What are we doing?
It's crazy. We have rocks that are just moving.
Have you heard about those things?
No, I haven't.
They're literally in the desert, and you see it's a big rock, and then you'll see just a path behind it.
What the heck?
The sailing stones of Racetrack, Playa, and Death Valley National Park are rocks that move across the desert floor, leaving long trails behind. The rocks, which can weigh up to 700 pounds, have been observed and studied since the early 1900s. In 2004, researchers discovered that a rare combination of wind, water, and ice causes the movement. That's crazy.
Ooh. Just goes.
I made this video that I'll never forget about. Do you know about the Duranganga plant in South America? It's called Devil's Breath. Vice did a really famous documentary back in the day when they were still real.
I'm unfamiliar.
And it's this plant from this flower that allegedly, there are different stories. Like the official story is that this is fake, but all the Colombians are like, no, this is fucking real. And if you crush up these seeds and make this powder, it basically, you can like blow it in someone's face. You can put it in their drink, tasteless, odorless, whatever. And it basically makes you super fucking drunk, but not incapacitated. And you can walk around and you're wildly open to suggestion is the urban legend about it. And so hookers will use it, and there's like stories from all over Colombia and South America, and it even grows up here too, and in Guatemala too. And there's stories of people like waking up in a ditch with no clothes on, going to their apartment, and their apartment manager's like, yeah, you came in here with your friends and like moved out. And like, because they'll like get you going on this shit, and then they'll be like, yeah, take us to your house, like take us to your house, like yeah, withdraw all the money, like no problem, sign over the deed, and you're just open to suggestion. Apparently, is the theory.
I love that.
That's
phrase,
the story.
Open to suggestion.
And so you can just be manipulated like crazy.
I guess in South Carolina news is trying to keep this Myrtle Beach shit quiet for a reason. But if you don't know, South Carolina residents were on Myrtle Beach and they saw a submarine. And this submarine that they saw had everybody on Myrtle Beach scared. So scared that they called the Coast Guard. So scared that they had people hovering over to see what was going on in the waters. And of course, nobody heard about this, right? Matter of fact, look at this shit. Look at this shit right here.
Everybody's watching. The Coast Guard just showed up on the scene.
Listen.
And the Coast Guard, they got 2 people
up on this balloon thing, and they were flying them over where the submarine was last spotted, seeing if they could get a bird's eye view on what's actually going down. The submarine.
Now look at that shit right there.
Lifeguards.
You tell me what that is.
PD has been working to get everybody.
Tell me what that is.
ASAP, because we're trying to figure out what's going on.
Now the person that made that video said news stations are contacting him. Multiple people are contacting him, trying to buy his footage. And he said he thinks that they're trying to buy his footage so they can get rid of it, erase it, like it never happened. But if nothing never happened, why would they want to get rid of his footage? Look at how these people were running off the beach. Check this shit out. Look at this shit.
Working to get out of here. And now we got people running. Guys, this is not looking good out here.
Yeah.
People are running to get off the beach now.
So you know what happens next in situations like this, right? They try and silence the person that made the video. Y'all go to his page. You will definitely be able to find that in that search bar up there. Jump down that rabbit hole and see what I saw. I'm out.
Trump Mobile. Did you hear about Trump Mobile? They're coming out with their own mobile device.
But like cellular service as well.
I mean, the concept is actually pretty cool. Free roadside assistance anywhere you are. Free texting in 100 different countries.
Oh, that's cool.
Teledoc for everyone that has a phone.
What about health insurance?
I think it's all covered under this Trump Mobile. But people were like, okay, well, yeah, then you have the president of the United States, the government, that's literally issuing you phones now.
They're saying there's like conflict of interest. He's like building his own company with the platform of president. Like people were saying this stuff, but someone else in the family, I think, is supposed to be running it, and their rebuttal is it's owed because of the allegations and damages to our name. Premise is jacked up though, because it's like now we're allowed to advance something rather than the people who, if they do have just grounds and want to go to court and do all of that, then it's other people who owe them money, not license for them to bend rules moving forward. So
Yeah.
I don't like how that
So they're not
applies.
fixing the problem, they're profiting from the problem. Do you think this all started because he saw a T-Mobile commercial and he's like, that should be me? Trump Mobile.
So we now have video evidence that they're building tents on the new facility they're calling Alligator Alcatraz. Now my question is, who's building this facility? The first people we've uncovered are Logistic Events Corp, based out of Miami. Another company we found is a company called US Tent Rental. They're based out of Sarasota. These two companies are providing resources to help build this facility, if not helping build it themselves. Both Logistic Events Corp and US Tent Rental are complicit in what is going to be one of the most inhumane detention centers we've ever seen in our lifetimes. These are two companies that are blatantly and egregiously showing the state of Florida that they value profits over people. They literally want to house 1,000 people, probably more, in tents in the Everglades. I'll let you decide what to do next.
Soul is not for children.
I've heard it's like gut wrenching.
That's not even for 20-year-olds. That's a movie that's like, hey, have your dreams not come true? Here's Soul. It's meant to be watched at 4 p.m. in daylight when you're alone as an adult on the weekend with no one else to hang out with.
Slightly high.
When I watched it, I was like,
Who is the target audience for this?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
You see him like coming to while he's playing piano by himself in his lonely studio apartment. And you're like,
Yeah.
shit. That's me cutting a reel. On a plane to Tulsa on a Thursday night. While my friends are at their kids' t-ball games.
Oh my god, dude.
How come we couldn't watch that war on television? Funniest thing to me, Tucker, was how come, okay, look, our country funded that war in Ukraine, funded it. And our military leaders ran that war. They have been all about that war. We fund their government. We fund their retirement. We have funded their small businesses. The American people tragically have kept Ukraine afloat. But how come we couldn't watch that war on television? We could watch the Israel and Iran launching bombs at each other and exploding in their cities and people's reactions and the nonstop commentary and counting missiles and how many missiles they shot down. But we never saw that with Ukraine and Russia. And I want to know why. Why didn't we see that?
I asked a bunch of members of Congress, including the Speaker of the House, disgraceful person, in my opinion, Mike Johnson, but, so you funded this war with billions of our dollars. We're bankrupt, but you're paying for this war because you love the Ukrainians so much. How many Ukrainians have died? No clue. Not interested. You're funding the war because you love the Ukrainians, but you're not even keeping track of how many of its young men have died, or now middle-aged men have died.
How many fathers? How many brothers?
Yeah, how many people with
how many
Down
people?
syndrome? How many Ukrainians with Down syndrome were pulled off the street and sent to go die in a war that you were paying for?
No.
That's when I thought, I'm kind of out.
Why can you watch one on TV and you can't watch the other one on TV? And I don't know the answer to that.
You probably should be able to watch a war that you're paying for.
Right. Why do we have to be shown on TV 24 hours a day, nuclear armed Israel being bombed and attacked? And why do we have to be fed that when we're not fed that about any other war anywhere else?
Being manipulated.
I don't know, y'all, but I know when that war first popped off on my AdSense, which is where I say this all the time on the AdSense, which is where, we go to see on YouTube, put our debit card information to get direct deposit, whatever. That's our little account over there. It said, do not talk about Ukraine-Russia war. If you do, probably not going to get paid. That was on Google AdSense, y'all. It's not there no more, but when the war was first going on, like nobody was talking about it really on YouTube because of that.
Beach, she says. There's no fucking water. Kind of fucking beach is this? The water is what the? Go to the beach, she says. A fucking beach.
This whole James Webb Telescope thing is saying that we're inside of a black hole. It's saying that our observable universe, not just our galaxy, like our sun and our planets, like the other galaxies around our sun and our planets with their sun and their planets and their
surrounding
sun and their
galaxies.
planets. Are we in a black hole?
I previously revealed to you that you are on a prison planet.
Hold on, no.
I said that.
You said this was a prison planet.
Precisely. Earth is a prison planet. Designated for exile, as stated. Situated within a galaxy, among other galaxies, with other planets inside of them, designated for exile. Inside of a universe, specifically used for intergalactic exile. All sealed behind the event horizon of a black hole.
So we're all in a black hole paying bills?
It's one of numerous black holes that contain these types of universes. All intentionally constructed this way as isolated domains for the containment and exile of entities and energies. Including me.
So how do we get out? Can we get out?
We engineered black holes to be inescapable.
Juby!
The event horizon guarantees containment.
Hold on! You make black holes.
They are constructed through gravity manipulation technology. Of course. The only reason you are able to successfully pass through the event horizon of a black hole is because I am accompanying you and I manipulate space-time with our technology.
You and I went through a black hole. When?
When we went to the theme park. In the Orion Nebula. We got pizza at Orbit Oven.
Orbit Oven?
You ordered the space-time pizza?
When we went to get pizza?
Yeah. Do you want to go?
Yeah, actually I do. Only if we get to go to Saturn's rings and smoothie things after.
Deal.
Yay! Let me get my seatbelt on.
Safety first. We're going through black hole.
Saturn's rings and smoothie things. Saturn's
Pretty good at editing.
Apparently Catalina, there's a high shark population.
Yeah, white sharks, and they're increasing every year.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Well, because we used to hunt them first of all, and we used to hunt seals and sea lions as well, and that's all been banned for a long time. So there's way more seals and sea lions now, and there's more sharks reproducing. And I think there's something to be said for them, the water being consistently warmer, and them staying further north than they used to as well, or south, depending on which way they're
I
going.
see what you're saying. Yeah.
But like where I live in Santa Barbara, there's a single bay where my buddy and I have been going for the last 4 years, and it's only for like 3-4 weeks in the summertime that there's like 6 to 8 juvenile great white sharks around. And when we started going there 4 years ago, they were like 6 feet long, and then the next year they were like 8 feet long. This year, I didn't go because I was traveling, but my buddy went and filmed them. He's like, dude, they're getting up to like 10 feet. And it's the same animals in the same spot. What happens when those are like 14-foot animals? It's a very popular swimming beach.
You could have $1 billion
If you are an independent artist, you will not have a #1 record on Spotify unless you pay the gate. Unless the record companies are getting a cut. There's just, I mean, there's no way that you can tell me that no one in the past 10 years since Spotify has been around has not made some record that went so viral that it ended up #1 on Spotify and didn't have to sign to a label.
Yep.
Yeah. Any record that gets enough momentum to get on the label's radar, if it does not make it past that gate and they don't have a cut of it.
So what you're saying is there is nothing that's organic.
Everything is organic until it gets to the gate. Remember what I was talking about with McDonald's? You know what I mean? They sold burgers until it got big enough, until corporate America said, we need that.
Yeah.
Just got to be organic enough to get swooped up. Put into
But look
the
how many
machine.
horror stories you've heard of people's inventions, people getting just unalive, disappearing, you know, when their company gets to a certain thing and you don't want to sell your company and you become competitor for Microsoft.
Yeah.
Then it becomes a machine.
So at some point you got to kiss the ring.
Pretty much.
Would you say it applies also like to the podcast business?
To every business. I mean, look at like.
If anybody's wondering, we will sell.
Yeah, we'll kiss the ring.
Look, let me ask you.
We will kiss the ring.
I
I
have a genuine question for you. Is there a 100% independent podcast in the top 5 that has no deal with private equity or
top 5 in LA? We got to be.
Well, you are now.
Demonic. Demonic.
What do you mean they turn green? Oh, hell no.
It's demonic.
What happened?
She said, "Oh hell no." Little kid.
Oh my God, bro.
Oh hell no, man. What the? At what point do we grow some discernment? Because the moment
They
I
look
saw
evil.
these dolls and it became popular, my spirit was like, nah. But I hear some of y'all talking about, I bring my Labubu to church, I bring it to Bible study, I bring it to Bible reading class, I bring it to Sunday youth night, whatever it is, y'all be bringing it everywhere. But maybe you're uninformed. The Bible says my people perish for a lack of knowledge. So here's some knowledge. The creator of Labubu made these dolls from a real demon from Nordic mythology called Pazuzu. He literally just switched a few letters around. He made a whole chant to go along with it. Sound like a weird spell to me to start summoning stuff in your house. I don't know. Parents is out there buying it for their kids and their kids are having literally conversations with the doll like they're really talking to something because it's a demon. So I know it looks cute. I know it looks trendy, but that's how the enemy gets you to bring stuff into your house unknowingly. I'm covered by the blood. I'm protected. Yes, you're covered by the blood. You're protected. Amen. But guess what? When them nightmares come, sleep paralysis, when stuff weird starts happening in your house, don't come blaming God. You're protected. You're covered by the blood. But since when did that mean bringing in demons into your house? It literally, you invited it, not God. You welcomed it into your house. You gave it legal right, legal authority into your home to do things in your house. Remember, God respects your free will. You want to invite demons into your house? That's what you gonna do. People all over TikTok since buying the doll has been reporting nightmares, waking up with scratches all over their body, sleep paralysis, the doll moving and catching the doll, changing eye colors. This is a creature known for being mischievous, chaotic, darkness, bringing in those things into environments. And Labubu is also known as the devil's pet. Why would you want something called the devil's pet in your house? Come on. Based off of a real demonic entity, why would you want to bring that into your house? Y'all done lost me. I have no idea how y'all even sleep at night knowing that this thing is in your room.
All right, man, it's time to talk about these petrified giants, man. Hold on, watch this. Anatomy of the epidermis. This is the layers of your skin, okay? Look right here. Y'all see that right there, right? Boom! Look at this right here. That looks exactly the same to me. Hold on. Up next we have... Whoa, I should definitely not call her. Then you got things like these giant, what looks to be footprints that are all along, I mean, looks like a riverbed to me. I just think that's kind of weird, man, how there's giant, look at the toes, toe. Just saying. Speaking of toes, look here, boom, here's 4 or 5 more. That's in Colorado. That's like a tourist attraction, they say, or a piece of artwork, they say. Just look right here, man. Homeboy standing beside a petrified tree. That looks more like a daggone, what's it, the femur bone or whatever? In my opinion, I'm just saying. It really does, y'all. Look at that. Let's not forget the Himalayan salt, these salt mines. Y'all take a look at this right here, man. What does that look like to y'all? If you look at these pictures, like the last video I showed all of them like individually, but take a look at this, man. A lot of it looks like bacon, in my opinion. It's just my opinion. This is Naka Cave in Thailand, man. Look at this right here. Does that not look like a snake to y'all? Look right here, man. Like, really and truly, I want y'all to look at that and really, look how small homeboy is. I'm just saying, man. I could go on for days about this giant stuff, man. This is the natural mountain formation, whatever it is, but it looks like a tree trunk to me. You can actually see the rings in the tree. I mean, if it were a tree, but it's not, right? Anyways, man, it's always the questions, never the answers. If the eyes are useless, if the mind is blind, my friends.
This place literally decides what time it is for the entire world. But here's what's really crazy. The prime meridian, the line that divides Earth into east and west, is in the wrong place on all of our maps. Modern satellite technology has revealed it's actually 102 meters to the east of where we've been telling tourists to take their photos. That means thousands of people have been straddling the wrong line for years. Why did we even pick Greenwich in the first place? It wasn't just scientific reasoning. It's partially because the British were running the world's shipping lanes. 2/3 of all ships were already using Greenwich-based charts by the end of the 19th century. Changing to another location would have been a massive headache for global trade and navigation. As travel and communication expanded worldwide, someone had to decide where 0 degrees longitude would be. And Britain had the nautical influence to make it stick. This wasn't just about astronomy or geography. It was about power, economics, and who controlled the seas. The story of Greenwich reminds us that even scientific standards can get tangled up with politics. What looks like an objective decision on a map actually reflects who held global power at the time the line was drawn. And those decisions shape how we navigate this world to this day.
Breaking news, a van has exploded in Washington, D.C., setting a black cloud of smoke into the sky. Moments ago in the heart of America's capital, a Amazon van decided to explode, sending smoke into the air. Witnesses say a man was seen exiting the van, only for 30 seconds later it to explode and the man to never be seen again. They also say he was not wearing Amazon driver clothing, making this a likely intentional act of violence inside of D.C. No injuries are reported, but this is such a big blast, this would not have been any Amazon product that decided to go ablaze. Instead, this was a device, an intentional act maybe used by a sleeper cell, the same type that America said is within the United States and to be on the lookout for. The van right now is extinguished with all the flames put down, and the police are actively searching for the masked man that is on the run. Nobody saw his face, nobody knows where he's from, and this is likely an intentional targeted act in the nation's capital. Comment below what you think this could be, and make sure to follow me for the news updates.
If you're new here, I usually talk about some pretty scary stuff, but this next story, Lake Tahoe just reminded us it's not just a lake. Yo, after the last storm, Lake Tahoe changed like completely. What used to be a peaceful vacation spot turned into a full-blown ocean, and this isn't just rumors. 8 people were unalived in a single weekend. Weather that wasn't even on radar started happening. Snow fell in June, temperatures crashed, boats flipped, waves got violent, visibility dropped, and suddenly the lake started swallowing things. Locals say it felt alive, and one of the people who didn't survive was an executive from DoorDash. Yeah, out of all the boats on the water that day, the one that overturned was carrying a DoorDash exec and his entire family, right after people were calling for a boycott. Is this coincidence, or could it be something darker? Because this is where it gets even weirder. In the days after, some people reported seeing massive shadows moving beneath the surface. We're talking sea creature level stuff. And if you don't believe that, look up the old Washoe tribe legends. They've been saying for generations that there's something unnatural living in Lake Tahoe, and now it's like the lake is waking up. Was this a freak storm or something ancient that finally had enough? Drop your theories in the comment section. Was this targeted? Was it a warning? Or just Mother Nature losing her mind? And jot down below part 2 if you want me to continue covering this case. Make sure you hit the follow button if you love true crime, true paranormal, all the spooky and weird stuff from all over the world, y'all. Drop that double eye emoji if you made it to the end.
There really are some crazy things happening in the world right now. Animal rights activists are protesting goldfish racing in San Diego. A DoorDash driver attempted to deliver food to a customer at the O'Hare International Airport in Chicago, breached the security and caused no immediate responses. He just drove up to the freaking plane. After new laws in Japan, you can no longer call your child Pikachu, Pudding, or Prince. The TSA actually put out a public statement urging Americans to stop using their Costco cards as identification for security. We have developed the world's smallest remote-controlled robot at 0.01 inches tall, which is small enough to sit on the edge of a penny. A man made his final child support payment in 80,000 pennies dumped.
The shoes on the dark web.
Oh yeah, yes,
Yeah,
bro,
I seen those.
Bro,
I seen it. But did you see the guy buy it?
Oh, on TikTok?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I think so.
Yo, so like every shoe in that dark web thing is a name and it's an age. So the man goes, "Oh, I'm gonna try to break the theory because the whole theory on the internet's like, if I buy this shoe, does it come with the person?" Yeah.
What? It just came with the shoe.
No, it came with something worse.
What?
The exact same shit that happened in your story.
Wait, what the fuck?
It came with a tape.
Oh, that's crazy.
And you know what that tape is?
That was like the market to buy movies.
Yes.
Like dark movies.
Yes. But it's based on that kid.
Oh shit.
You get what I'm saying now?
wild.
And he did more. Like he was trying to test like, is this real blood on the shoe? And then he tested it, it's real blood. But then he cut into the shoe and it's a tracker.
Oh shit. So he's next.
No, he didn't. He fucked up because he didn't send it to a fake address. He sent it to his home. He bought it with his address.
Okay, wait, what happened then? So like,
I don't know. There was no part 3, fam. There was part 1, part 2.
So he's gone.
I don't know. I haven't looked into it, fam.
One conspiracy theory that I know is true, and mine is that Dr. Pepper is a combination of cola and root beer.
Have you guys heard this? I don't think it's true. Okay, so I got my Coke, I got my root beer, and I got the Dr. Pepper. So we'll go, like he said, 2 parts Coke and 1 part root beer. And that is supposed to equal this. So let's just give this a try here. So first the Dr. Pepper. Okay, Dr. Pepper. Now for this. My whole life is a lie.
One conspiracy theory that I know is true, and mine is that Dr. Pepper is a combination of cola.
If you can't decide on where to go on holiday this summer, look no further. Because North Korea has just opened a massive beach resort. Oh, we are gonna party with Kimmy. Yesterday, he traveled to the city of Wonsan to officially open what he describes as the country's greatest success this year. And this is about to get propagandary. So lock in. The resort spans a impressive 2.5 miles of prime North Korean coastline and is designed to accommodate up to 20,000 people at a time, who will presumably stay in the newly built 54 hotels, dozens of hostels, and even VIP lodges fit for a supreme leader. It also has a massive water park with slides, surfing, swimming, sunbathing, and even waterboarding for those who misbehave. I don't even want to know how many years bro's getting for that fumble. It also apparently has several shopping centers, bars, arcades, golf courses, cinema where they'll run classics like Kim Kong and Mission Kim Possible, and also dozens of restaurants where they'll serve food when they have it. Kim was seen yesterday touring the facility with his daughter and his wife, who we actually don't see very often. And then in the evening, they had a huge celebration with a concert, excited fans, and even set off a bunch of what's known in the country as recreational missiles. Now, the good news is that this luxury resort will be open on Tuesday. Bad news is that as of right now, it's only for North Koreans. But apparently tourism is the country's next big thing, so can't arrest us all.
Must watch people. Ever since I posted a couple videos of me using this black light, I've been getting black light videos on my For You page. And there's one guy, he tests different drinks like Monster. Monster glows so bright under one of these things right here. That gave me an idea. I started looking in my fridge and freezer, and y'all, this right here is a brand new, straight out of the freezer, like we got it 2 or 3 days ago, 6-pack of corn from our local grocery store. And y'all, I'm not making this up. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm not showing y'all no name of this company. But I talked to one of my uncles, and I've Googled it. He said the only reason that he thinks it should be glowing like this, and he's real big into plants, and I mean, he's been doing it his whole life, was in the business forever, but he said it's either got a chemical on it or a chemical in the ground. I Googled it, and it said the only reason corn should be glowing under a UV light is because of a chemical in the ground. And it said it is very toxic to humans and animals. Y'all, I want y'all to watch this. This is so crazy. Like I said, I don't know how I feel about it, but I'm sharing it with y'all. We're not gonna eat this. Ever since I posted a couple videos of me using this black light, I've been getting black light videos on my For You page. And there's one guy, he tests different drinks like Monster. Monster glows so bright under one of these things right here.
This isn't a conspiracy theory. If you go read history, Henry Ford and Carnegie, who designed the modern day education system and invested in it, said they want people to have enough knowledge that they still go back to work in the factory on a Monday, work there till Friday, buy a car from Henry Ford, and go on 2 holidays a year to make sure Carnegie continues to be rich. But for God's sake, please go back to the factory. We don't want you to have so much knowledge that you understand that selling by hours are not scalable. Let's make sure everyone still sells hours, otherwise we can't build our empires. So they didn't want people totally educated, they wanted them partially educated.
Evil.
But here's the thing is that next election, it's going to be JD Vance. They're going to run JD Vance. And the moment you start digging into the JD Vance, Peter Thiel connection, and you think like, this dude got a book deal, got this great book written about him, and then got a Netflix fucking movie made about him, like the year before he becomes the vice president, that's a little sus.
Oh shit. The big Jaguar.
Okay. June 28th, leaving the Beyonce Cowboy Carter Tour concert from NRG Stadium because for whatever reason, our row was so filled with exhaust, I guess, from the pyrotechnics that we were getting lightheaded and felt sick, and people in our row had also left the area because we were up super high. We're the very last row, and it was just like this perfect little corner, I guess, for this to build up. But the thing is that this is all stuff coming, after this experience. In the moment, I literally, and my sister, I think would agree, I know would agree, that we thought that we were about to be in a terrorist attack or some sort of horrific fire, and that we were going to be trapped, and that our lives were going to be at risk. And beyond the fact that this is just so disappointing, and that we spent our time to make sure that everyone in the entire stadium was going to be safe, including Beyonce. For, I guess, apparently nothing. It's very confusing.
Why go?
Seems like you should not be poisoned in the seats that you're sitting in. Period.
There's a place called
secret canyon where there's allegedly a portal, some kind of interdimensional portal. And I thought all of this was just crazy nonsense. But there are incredibly brave and super, super interesting people, Jeremiah Horstman and his wife Alexandra particularly, who live in Sedona, and they've been doing some really clever on-the-ground research. One of the things we did, a lot of the stuff we got, as so often happens, you can't put it in the story because you can't get these people to go on camera. But there was a number of people who would privately admit that they'd been walking in what is public land, and they'd be stopped by men with guns, men in uniform with automatic weapons, clearly highly trained elite soldiers, probably tier 1 operatives from the way they moved, and they would basically order people, go away or we will kill you. And if you looked at a particular place over Secret Mountain, you would see this big orb being escorted by helicopters rising from behind Secret Mountain.
Sedona is a trip, y'all. But there you have it. Hope you guys enjoyed Monday's reaction. I am sleepy. The coffee didn't do its job today. I apologize. We didn't do much chit-chatting today. We just sat back and enjoyed the show and saw some interesting clips, y'all. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Made it this far. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Got to get this video edited. The baby's about to wake up soon. Mama Bear's about to leave. I got to go see what's going on in that bedroom. This is Segovia. I'm signing out of the man cave. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow on the next one, y'all. Later.